All right, thanks a lot for that beautiful introduction. Now, you are in the country of the pyramids. Mexico has thousands of Mayan pyramids, but also Mixtecs pyramids, Aztecs pyramids, Olmecs pyramids, and others. I'm in Bosnia. Bosnia is the home to the world's largest and the oldest pyramids. And you see, they've been teaching us in schools that pyramids are built in Egypt and Mexico only. But the truth is different. They've been built all over the planet, on all 6 continents. In Asia, we have 250 pyramids in the Chinese province of Shanxi. We have pyramids in Cambodia, besides pyramidal temples in Angkor Wat, UNESCO protected site. We have beautiful Koh Ker pyramid in northeastern part of the country. Indonesia, western part of Java. Our friend Dr. Danny Hillman discovered 26,000-year-old pyramid, which he named Gunung Padang, the Hill of Light. In Australia, Gympie Pyramid, 1.5 hours to the north from Brisbane on eastern coast. In Africa, we have them on the island of Mauritius in the middle of the Indian Ocean, 7 stepped volcanic pyramids. In Egypt, we have not 118 like pseudo-scientific site of Wikipedia claims, but 155. That's how I investigated and described in my books. In Sudan, we have 224 Nubian pyramids. Canary Islands, the biggest one is Tenerife, 104 pyramids. In Peru, 300 pyramids. In Bolivia, Acapena Pyramid Complex. In Europe, 3 Palencia pyramids in Spain, 5 complexes in Italy, 16 pyramids on ancient Greek soil, but before ancient Greek civilization. We have them in Central America. Now, in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, and of course Mexico, more than 100,000 pyramids. 97% of them being covered by forests and jungles. And finally, United States of America. They don't teach us in schools that pyramids were built on the US soil. However, there are 120 of them in the state of Illinois. They call them Cahokia Mounds. So in the last 35 years, I've been traveling the world, researching the pyramids. My PhD was about the Mayan pyramids, and I've concluded that the world of the past was the world of pyramids. And guess what? After all my travel and research, I came back to my home country of Bosnia, and I visited the local museum in the small town of Visoko, near the capital city of Sarajevo. But then I saw this, everybody called it natural hill, because it was covered by forest. However, I could see 4 sides, 4 triangular faces, and I could see the corners, the same slope from bottom to the top. And those 4 sides were meeting at the apex. Geometrically speaking, this was a pyramid. So I took compass 15 years back in 2005, and compass showed me that one side is perfectly oriented to the north, the one behind to the south, to the left, to the east, to the right, to the west. Mother Nature does not make hills with 4 sides, 4 triangular faces, and perfect orientation to the cardinal points, but intelligent hands. So back in 2005, I established non-profit, non-government foundation, and I started researching and digging, and it has become the most active archaeological site in the world. And we have proven that in the heart of Bosnia, we have at least 6 huge pyramids, followed by huge underground prehistorical tunnel network. The biggest pyramid, which I named the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, is much higher than the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Orientation to the north is the most precise on the planet, with the error to the cosmic north of 0 degrees, 0 minutes, and 12 seconds. And then, once we started removing the soil, 1.5 meters below, we discovered rectangular and square blocks, 7 tons, 10 tons, 40 tons. We've analyzed the samples of this material in 7 different scientific institutes in Italy, France, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Bosnia. They all told us it was an artificial concrete. So this big pyramid under the layer of soil, yes.
I have been to Bosnia, right?
Yes.
I have a lot of couple of questions, also private questions.
Ask with, okay, try with the first couple of questions.
Yes, okay. So I would like to know, are those stones, I know the one, I have been inside the pyramid. The one inside the pyramid is a megalith, but the stones which build the pyramid, are those also megaliths?
They are different. They are concrete. The one in the tunnels are mega ceramic blocks, ceramic. They've been made. And concrete, you know, when you enter the tunnels are made in the material called conglomerate. Conglomerate are rocks, pebbles, and sand. So somebody was digging the tunnels, removing rocks, pebbles, and sand. So what did they do with hundreds of thousands of tons of that material? They used it, they mixed it with the binder, and they made concrete blocks. And then they covered the complete pyramid.
Because, you know, I'm to be honest, so lucky. Like all the places you mentioned, I watched your video. Please, guys, go on YouTube. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
Bosnian Pyramids TV.
So he talks in, I think, Czech language and in
it's
English.
It's a Bosnian language, so Bosnian and English. So we have,
yeah. So you can watch it in English, and please watch the first one. He mentions a lot of different places he has been, and I can almost say I have covered almost all, you know. And those days, I mean, I didn't know you, I didn't know about the pyramids, I didn't know about the ley lines, and I didn't know about the dragon lines. And I can say, but I do work with the ley line grid of the earth. So that means I'm very much connected to the dragon energy. That's why I have specific, more detailed questions, which I'm sure people haven't asked. I know there are certain, like my friends, they go to Bosnia and they come and they say, you know, I met Sam and we had the tour, and guys, you can go inside of the Bosnia pyramid. People go there to get healings done because they're very high, what was the name of that energy? It's Bovis.
Negative, but negative ions primarily.
Yes. Very high Bovis, which is very healing for the body. People are sick, they go there, they get cured, they feel better, and it's true. Get a jacket, it's quite fresh in there. It's awesome, you have this amazing fresh air. Do that. But my friend, she came with pictures, and she's like, Agatha, and she goes every year to Bosnia, and she's like, you know, we went around Bosnia pyramid, and then she showed me pictures of those big X stones. Like they're like really round. So my question is, I have been to Greece, to Acropolis. I have been in Stonehenge, Bretagne. Stonehenge for sure are megalites. Bretagne for sure are megalites. You have inside the pyramid, which feels to me like you said that I couldn't hear that word.
Ceramic.
It's ceramic, but
Ceramic
it feels
blocks.
like a megalite to me because that part, when people were allowed, I don't think they were allowed to lie on it. I was lying on it because I'm not heavy, and now that stone has been broken, that time it wasn't broken, and it feels like it's rejuvenating my cells and reprogramming my cells. And many years later, you even said it when we met in person, that I feel that pyramid in Bosnia, that specific one, is like rejuvenating and reprogramming the cells. It's like upgrading your DNA and clearing all your, you can even see the turquoise rays coming from the earth, and turquoise is connected to Lemuria and Atlantis, which means it helps us to bring back the old knowledge and wisdom. So now the dragon people are always connected to the ley lines and the pyramids. And can you please maybe say something, because okay, that sounds a little weird, Sam, but I know you will understand me because we have met and we have spoken, and I'm so glad you're here. Actually, I always feel like crying because my heart is like, you know, it's like there's a connection for whatever reason. So I had this vision last week. I mean, I always look into my healing and stuff, and then I had vision about being a monk in Angkor Wat, and I was like, okay, I haven't been to Angkor Wat, but I saw all the places. And then there was a crystal in the middle of Angkor Wat, and it was connected to the knowledge and wisdom of Lemuria and Atlantis. And then yesterday I found, I mean, I always do my research and then I might be up the whole night. That's why I was a little late today, because I really dig into it. I Google, I do research, and I do everything I can. Also, now I'm so glad I can ask Sam. So then I found a video. There was tiny little quartz crystals inside of Angkor Wat in a kind of a, it's definitely not a sarcophagus. It looked to me like the arch. In Germany, we say Bundeslade, which people remember in Salzburg when you met, I forgot that guy's name. He was talking about Isis and the black crystals and the ark, you know, when we were with Frank and Tonya. So is there anything like this in Bosnia? Also, the stones, those X stones, what is the relationship to dragons or the old knowledge of Lemuria? I know, Sam, you'd never talk about it, that you meet channelers, that you talk to spiritual people, right? So please give us some insights about that.
All right, you've asked me about 10 questions, so let me start answering.
Yeah, and one second. So when I was in Greece in Acropolis, which has the strong Pallas Athena energy, there's a lot of marble. And when I was in Vietnam and in Thailand, I found always Sri Lanka is full of quartz. In Angkor Wat, it's quartz crystals. It's either marble, megalite, quartz. It's something like a pink tourmaline kind of. It's like marble quartz kind of a thing. And I think, and I always notice, it's connected to water, and it helps very much. It's like it can, like when we have the mobile phone, we have selenite or silicon, something, right? So it's also quartz crystals. So
Yes.
which means it's connected to electricity and water. So can you please, I don't know the connection exactly and the ley lines, if you can maybe, if you know some, please share that.
Yes. Why ley lines are important? Ley lines are underground energy lines of cosmic origin. They usually run straight. In southern England, there are the most research done on ley lines, concluding that all ancient temples, megalithic sites, and in the modern times, churches and cathedrals are built above the ley lines. Why? Because ley lines are strong energy, and with those certain shapes like domes and so on, you amplify the energy. And the people, the priests in the churches, they would take advantage of this amplified energy. Their message would be stronger. In the case of Bosnian pyramids, most of the ley lines in the Balkan region, Balkan Peninsula, which encompasses Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, Macedonia, Slovenia, Bulgaria, and so on, most of them are coming down to the town of Visoko where the pyramids are located. So you can see so many intersections exactly under the Bosnian pyramids. So the location has always been important for megalithic sites and for the pyramid sites. You mentioned some megalithic sites, Stonehenge, megalithic circle in the United Kingdom being one of them, but also Avebury Hill, 3 megalithic circles, Glastonbury Tor. Glastonbury is a tumulus, it's a conical artificial hill. In Western France, we have Karnak. You mentioned Breton, yes. Karnak, there are thousands of big megaliths and dolmens and circles. In Sweden, Alestenar. In Israel, Rujum El Hiri. And we have them on many other places. The ancients knew that when you place a circle or pyramidal shape, you amplify the natural sources of energy, ley lines being one of them, but also you have so-called volcanic lines running under the ground. In the case of Bosnian pyramids are sitting on intersection of 26 underground volcanic lines. The next one, under the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, we have underground water flow. When water moves, it releases negative ions. Negative ions are electrical charge coming from the oxygen's atom. So these electrons, they are base for the electricity, and they are very good for our health, and I will get back to negative ions.
Does lava also has an electric, like a negative ion? What is
lava is important. What is volcanic line? You have 2 volcanoes, you connect them with the line, that's volcanic line. But if you extend the line, at the end you have a pyramid. Pyramid is sitting on volcanic line. So Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is sitting on intersection of 26 volcanic lines because lava means energy, it means iron. Iron is, energy again, minerals, energy, and so on. The next thing that we have in the Bosnian Valley of Pyramids, we have actually 2 underground water flow under the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Between them, we have charge, electricity. The pyramid pulls this electricity. That's the power of pyramid, and it amplifies it. And then we have iron plate under the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Iron generates electromagnetic field. The pyramid pulls this electromagnetism, amplifying it. And then we have discovered a lot of quartz crystal on the top of the Sun pyramid and in the tunnels. And quartz crystal has the ability to transform the energy. When we have a barbecue at our homes, you press the button and then you can see the electricity on the other end. And then, of course, you turn on and you got your gas and then you have fire, of course. What did you actually press? Behind the button is a piece of quartz crystal. So you apply the pressure, mechanical waves, and the result is electricity. So quartz crystal transform one form of the energy to another, and in the science it is called the piezoelectrical effect. The same thing goes in the Bosnian pyramid sites. What happened? we have electromagnetic field. They press the quartz crystal and the result is ultrasound. Ultrasound we cannot hear, but we can measure it. And we measure the frequency of 28 kilohertz of ultrasound, 28 kilohertz, and this is the frequency of the levitation. People feel light when in the tunnels or on the pyramids. So you see how many elements we have, and when we come to the construction material, you mentioned some of the sites. In Egypt, we have limestone, which also has quartz crystal, and we have granite. Granite, which also has 5 to 14% of quartz crystal. You go to, let's say, Cambodia, Koh Ker Pyramid, it has volcanic stone, that's an iron, and sandstone, quartz crystal. So you see how the ancients were very smart when choosing the material. Yes. So we have concluded that four-sided pyramid is the most powerful geometrical shape when it comes to amplifying the energy. So the pyramids were energy amplifiers, or shortly, the pyramids were energy machines. What kind of energy they would amplify? They would amplify...
Sorry. Iron is for what? Iron is also, you said, energy, but in which way?
Yes, iron generates electromagnetic field.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So, now the question is, what kind of energy the pyramid generates? Well, always natural frequencies, 28 kilohertz frequency of electromagnetic field, 28 kilohertz ultrasound, very beneficial to us, 7.83 hertz. In science, it is called the Schumann resonance. Schumann resonance is the natural energy field. Unfortunately, from 1990s, due to our technological development, we've been making TVs and computers and laptops and cell phones, our electrical grid, American Project HARP. So much bad energy is going to ionosphere, putting a pressure on our mother planet. And she started with the higher frequency, 10 hertz, 12 hertz, 15 hertz. We don't live in our natural resonance anymore. And we feel that as a stress. However, in the Bosnian pyramid tunnels and on the Bosnian pyramids, it's still 7.83 hertz. People feel when they go there like they are back to the balance, they are back to their homes. So now we noticed that when you are in the tunnels, Agatha, all bad radiations are absent. For example, we live on the surface of the planet. A lot of cosmic radiations are coming our way. Some of them are harmful. Our body cells are fighting those enemies. And in the tunnels, 40 meters below the ground, no harmful cosmic radiations. Second, natural radioactivity is coming from the underground. Again, hitting our body, more enemies. Our body cells are busy 24 hours trying to save and preserve our body. Well, we've measured using Geiger counters. Radioactivity in the tunnels, the values are always several times lower than the minimum allowed. The next one, we have, of course, our cell phones, our mobile phones. In Bosnia, it's 3G, 2.4 gigahertz. In most of the Europe, 4G. And now in 2020, most of the countries in Europe and the US and Korea and Australia are introducing 5G. Now 5G is going all the way to 100 gigahertz. These are radio waves and they are present in microwaves. And microwaves, as we know, are very bad for our health. So now
Yeah,
we will be
burns
all,
it like
yeah,
a sizzling steak.
exactly. We will all be exposed to these frequencies which are so bad for us. Every time when we put our cell phone near our ears, what it does, it burns our brain cells. It
Yeah,
burns.
I noticed when I hold my mobile phone, certain mobile phones too long, because I'm very sensitive, my hand starts hurting. And not because the way I'm holding it, it's the frequency of the phone. I noticed that.
Always talk on the speakers. It
Yeah,
will help a little bit. But the point is, in the Bosnian pyramid tunnels, we don't have signal for the cell phones. And the next thing, internet, Wi-Fi. We can't live without Wi-Fi, of course, but again, very bad frequencies in gigahertz. In the tunnels, no signal for Wi-Fi. So in the tunnels, no bad radiations whatsoever, only good energies. The best electromagnetic field, the best ultrasound, the best Schumann resonance, and finally, very high concentration of negative ions. As I said, negative ions are coming from oxygen atoms. They are electrons. They are very
yeah,
good for us. Why? Because they connect to the dust in the air. They become
yes.
heavy, they go down to the floor. So they clear the atmosphere from dust, from pollen. They raise the level of oxygen in
Our
our body.
skin and the beauty, it
Exactly.
rejuvenates.
It helps, exactly, it helps our body. And they kill all the microbes. What are the
Yeah,
microbes? Viruses, bacteria, and fungi. Viruses. Today we all talk about the viruses. What is the virus? Because of corona, we know how it looks like. It has this core, it's like a little ball, and it has those sticks. You
yes.
know, they are like they are around the RNA
Like
or
a little bug
DNA.
with legs, but it has a very specific shape. Guys, I think it would be very interesting if you Google it. How does a virus look like? You might learned it in school. We did. It's very interesting in how a virus works. It's very, very
Yes.
interesting.
So what we have outside those sticks, they form like a protein field. Well, when you have negative ions, which comes with positive, positive is an atom of hydrogen. So negative and positive is OH. OH formula is very reactive. What they do, a set of negative and positive, they jump on those sticks, little sticks, on
Yes.
proteins, and they pull one atom of hydrogen. So now you have OHH or H2O. H2O is water or humidity. So without the hydrogen, the stick dies, it is neutralized. So without those sticks, without the protein field, you got only the core, it drops to the floor, no more viruses. So
Yeah.
more negative ions we have, less viruses we have. In your home, in my home, we have rather low concentrations of negative ions, about 20 to 50 per cubic centimeter. You go outside, it's fresher, it's about 150. You go to the mountain, 1000. You come to the Bosnian pyramid tunnels between 20,000 and 60,000. So these are the highest concentrations on the planet. So now imagine, Agatha, when you have the combination of all these factors, absence of all bad radiations and presence of only good stuff, our body cells don't have enemies. And for the first time in our life, they can start doing their job. What is their job? to fix the problems in our body, to start the regeneration process, and if you get lucky, the rejuvenation process. Everybody has some problems. Some people have, health challenges, for example, high blood pressure or high sugar or pains or tumors. Some people have some mental problems. Some people have problems in one of the 7 energy fields around us. For example, auric field. So you come to the tunnels, the regeneration process starts.
I just want to explain it shortly. Can you see that?
Yes.
So that's water, guys. That's a water molecule. You have, oh, this is oxygen, and this is, how do you say this in English?
Hydrogen.
Yeah, it's Wasserstoff in German. So that means one of this atom has 2 of those. So that creates a bridge, which he was saying, that protein. And when it's negative, negative needs a positive, right? So it needs something. If something is missing, you need something to fix it, like, right? You have the poles, like minus and plus. That's why we have cation and anion. I'm sorry, in English, I don't know. So that's how we do even volcanic, we do certain, jewelry. Guys, you have to implement that knowledge. The pyramids are not something out of this world. It's a part of this world. It is in us, it's around us, it's everywhere. People use it in science, in healthcare, in rejuvenation. When they say, oh, you're rejuvenating your skin, you're taking spirulina, you're taking chlorella. Why? Because there's a lot of iron in it. You go to a waterfall, it's water, it has a lot of iron in it. They say, oh, water is so healing. Water is information. Why? It's a lot of iron in it. And this is just a simple way of showing to you that we are made of atoms. We are atoms, we are iron, we are nature, okay? Like we are walking pyramid.
That's wonderful. Exactly right. That's wonderful.
And Sam, I just would like to give some examples. So it's, people can, it's easier when they can visualize it and grab it and have some examples in nature. Like when I was in Hawaii and even in India, the soil is very, very red. So when I was in Maui, it was only 2 days, and I was so lucky to see a baby whale with the mothers, because they come all the way back to Maui, not anywhere else, to have giving birth to the babies. So I was on that boat, and the baby and the mother, they came very close, and the guy on the boat, he's like, oh my gosh, look at. But you know what I did? I was singing, I was chanting. And then they came, and he's like, oh my God, they came up in front of us. And I was like, oh my God. They listen to sound and frequency. But then I looked at the mountains, because, I'm like, I always look around what's going on. And then I'm looking at the mountain, and I saw it's all red. So then I said, okay, to this tour guide, I said, okay, the mountain is red. That means there's a lot of iron, because I have noticed the place where I'm from, Füssen, when there is a powerful place, and if you want to connect to the ley lines, go always to Mother Mary chapels or St. Michael's chapels or St. George ley lines. When it's about the dragons, you will always find iron, marble, quartz around you, always. So I asked this guy, I said, so that means there's a lot of iron around us. That must be even, has anyone done studies in the water? Is there more iron? Because when the mothers come back, and that means they're being pregnant, and pregnant women need a lot of iron. And now I didn't know it's connected to the electromagnetic field, Sam. Thank you. It's like, that means a pregnant woman who needs more iron for the baby, that it means it's creating an electromagnetic field, right? So the whales in nature, they do that. And in Hawaii is like big island. There's a lot of lava, right? We have here in Tulum a lot of water, cenotes, and the divers, that's another example. When they go into the water, into the cenotes, into the ocean, look at them. They're like recharged, like Energizer bunnies. Like I glow when I'm coming back, and it's because I'm like almost 30, 40 minutes inside, full covered in water with the ions. Like my whole of my body is actually reversing age. I mean, look at Sam. I mean, I know him so many years and I've seen him from so many years and he is staying young. I mean, look at him. That's like best example, right? Okay, I just had to implement that so it's easier for people to understand what's going on.
The nature is remarkable. When you are near the waterfalls, very high concentration of negative ions. You feel the freshness. It's so pleasing. So we just need to open our eyes. The ancients were smart. They were using the natural sources of energy, and they were using the geometry, especially elements of sacred geometry. What are the elements of sacred geometry? Equilateral triangle, which is the base for the four-sided pyramids. Hexagonal, 6 sides, very important. Why? Because it consists of 6 equilateral triangles or 6 pyramids. And then the number pi or p, 3.14. And then the number phi or golden section, golden ratio. When you apply the elements of sacred geometry, those structures amplify the energies. The ancients were so smart. For example, take the number pi, 3.14. In a case of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, the length at the base is 231 meters. Two sides, 231 plus 231 is 462. Divided by the height, 146.6, the result is 3.14. And then golden section, there's the spiral. Spiral, you can see it at the star constellations and so on. Now, it's very important, golden section. In the case of Great Pyramid of Egypt, all 3 chambers are sitting on the line of the spiral. And guess what? In Bosnia, we have discovered 2 golden section spirals. The first one is when you take the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun as the beginning point, and the spiral goes on this line, the Pyramid of Love, the top of it is sitting, and 2 more pyramid hills. And the second golden section spiral, we have 2 rivers in the Valley of Pyramids. We call them River Foinica and River Basna. The place they meet, we use that as the beginning point. And then we start with the spiral. On this line is sitting the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun and the entrance to the tunnels which you visited. And at the other end, we have another structure which we called tumulus. Tumulus is a conical artificial structure. It is in the town called Vratnica. In Bosnian, Vratnica or Vrata means gate. It is like the gate to the Bosnian Valley of Pyramids. So see how they very carefully, laid out all these structures. It's amazing how they were playing with the huge objects, millions of tons in mass.
I was looking when I was watching your video. I mean, that time when I was in Bosnia, it was 3 pyramids, but by now it's 6, you said,
6,
right?
Yes.
But then I was thinking, do you think it would look like, I mean, I haven't seen the geometric shape from above. Do you think it looks like something similar to Mexico City? Like, that, or like in Peru when they have like when most of the pyramids, when you look from above, even Angkor Wat, it looks like a tiny microchip in a computer. Do you think Bosnia also looks like that from above?
It is always the case. So when you're looking from above, it is exactly like a microchip with, all these little parts. And not only that, Also, there is a correlation between their layout and the star constellations. You know how for 30 years people are saying that 3 Giza pyramids, Khufu, Khafre, and Mykerinos, that they match the layout of 3 Orion stars from Orion belts. Well, you know, people from Belgium, Robert Boyle, and then some Englishmen, they started with this hypothesis. So, if those 3 stars and their layout match the layout of those 3 pyramids, obviously there is a significant message behind it. And we
Yes,
know that 3 pyramids in Mexico, Teotihuacan, the pyramid of Sun, Moon, and Quetzalcoatl, has exactly the same layout. The 3
Quetzalcoatl is Venus.
Quetzalcoatl, yes. Well,
Venus.
Quetzalcoatl, that's like, you know, they worship Quetzalcoatl, which was their
Yeah.
god, and so on.
Because
And
Angkor Wat is connected to Draco star system. So Bosnia is connected to which one?
now, there is a term in astronomy, 7 sisters of Pleiades, 7 stars of Pleiades, and they are mentioned in traditions of American Indians, Aztecs, Mayas, all the way to the Indian subcontinent. They were all talking about the Pleiades. Now, what we can see at the night sky, we can see clearly 7 shiny stars, and sometimes we can see even 2 additional, which they called Father and the Mother. Of course, the star system of Pleiades has more than 1,000 stars. We know that today using telescope, but before you could see 7. Well, 5 of the Bosnian pyramids, they match the layout of 5 out of 7 stars of Pleiades. So maybe there is a significance, maybe there is a message there. So you see how the ancients were always working with those complexes on several levels. You have first the physical level, you have those pyramids, the objects above the ground, below the ground, tunnels. The next one is astronomical, so you can follow the shadow. We can discuss that a little bit later. Then we have sacred geometry elements. Then we have quartz crystal. Then you have pyramids as energy machines that affects our, you know, healing capabilities, that affect our spiritual abilities, that affect, you know, our, you know, health and so on. So the ancients were smart and they were building their structures. They were not working just one thing, but several of them were incorporated there.
And I have this Facebook group Arcturians. That's why we're doing that video, right? So for the Pleiadian star seeds and for all the star seeds out there, the Orion, like the pyramids in Egypt are connected to Orion. Orion star seeds are, it's always about balancing the male and the female energy, but it's dominant by the male energy. The Orion people have mostly the feeling of being lost and have lost their homes because many to incarnate on Earth or other places, they had to leave Orion. Like Mexico is very much the Venus energy, and I noticed here I got a lot of Andromeda upgrades. It's about love, loving self, teaching others to love yourself. And Venus is, of course, the heart chakra, which is the color pink or green. So does have UK that. UK has like Avebury, Stonehenge. It's a lot of that Mother Mary energy. Even when you go to Bosnia, Medjugorje is not that far, and Medjugorje has all those appearances of Mother Mary. So guys, you can see there's always a connection between, you know, the stars, the energies on Earth. The Pleiades are the ancestors of the Hawaiian, the old very native tribes, the Mexican. They always talk about the Pleiades. They always talk about the seven sisters. So the Pleiades are beautiful light beings, very strong with telepathic communication. So if you're an Orion, Pleiadian star seed, you will notice that you have a lot of telepathic abilities. Like I can do telepathic communication when someone does it with me. It really works. It does work. It's awesome. I would like to know, when I did research on Angkor Wat and it's connected to the Draco, I don't know, is it called a star system or planet? I know in India, which in Angkor Wat, it's the Hindu culture. They say it's very strongly related to Vishnu. And it's the Draco, I call it system now because I'm not too sure, but I know it's the dragon energy. It's not the Alpha Draconians, and I know for sure they call it in India, the very native tribes in Agartala, which is Inner Earth, they call it Asi, which is that dragon snake kind of thing. It's connected to the Naga people, which are the snake people from Inner Earth. You can see them in the shape of cobra behind Vishnu and all the gods. And all the gods will have the snakes around them or behind them. They say Asi, the Draco, is from far, far away, but it brought, which is also the wave frequency, right? I mean, you heard from Sam, everything is frequency. There is a connection with the dragon, especially when you go to Thailand, Vietnam. It's always, the dragon with the golden ball inside the mouth. Have you, I mean, and then when coming back to the picture of my friend seeing those dragon ball eggs, and I'm not kidding, they're huge around the Bosnia pyramids. Do you have any information about that?
Okay, several things. You mentioned these are stone balls or stone spheres. Now, stone spheres are a phenomenon that can be observed all around the planet. In Costa Rica, southern parts of the country, near the town of Palmar Sur, 1940s, 1950s, American United Fruit Company was removing parts of the jungle. They wanted to plant the banana trees. And 5-6 meters below the ground, they discovered 398 stone spheres made from granodiorite, extremely hard material. The biggest one, 25 tons. In western Mexico, near the town of Ahualco, more than 250 volcanic stone spheres were discovered in the 1960s. We have them on Easter Island. I saw the 8+1 volcanic stone spheres. New Zealand, Turkey, Tunis, southwestern parts of Egypt from limestone. We have them in Croatia, Serbia, and a lot of them in Bosnia. Our non-profit foundation has been documenting and digging all these stone balls, and we discovered the biggest one in the world 4 years back, 37 tons and 125 kilos. 37 tons. Imagine, that's huge. So
And
who was making them?
Is it concrete stone or what kind of material?
No. In Bosnia, we find them in 4 different materials. Some of them are volcanic, some of them are granite, some of them sandstone, some of them limestone. When you have them in 4 different materials, it means they cannot be geological, natural phenomenon, but somebody was shaping them. Yeah. Now, these are these stone balls, and now you talk about the dragon and Draco, star constellation of Draco, and the egg. You know, in the state of Ohio, in northeastern United States of America, there is so-called Ohio Serpent Mound. So this is the mound made from the earth, from the soil.
Yes. And you will find it in his first video. He has a picture and he describes it. You can see it in his first video on his YouTube channel. Okay, yes. It's there.
Yeah, it starts with like a spiral, and then you can see the body. It curves with the head, open mouth, and with the egg in front of it. It's like the snake is trying to eat this egg or planet or ball or something. But the interesting thing is, the places where the body curves, when you make the halves, like symmetrical halves, that direction is a direction of the rising sun during the summer solstice. On the other side is a sunset during the summer solstice. The next one is rising sun, exactly, during the fall equinox and spring equinox. So somebody was following the most important seasonal movements of the sun. And you know, Agatha, when you can see precisely the positions of the sun, which is our most important cosmic body, sun gives us light, it gives us warmth, it gives us life, it gives us information and knowledge. So when you show the movement of the sun, when you show the movement of 4 lunar phases, and when you show the position of the Draco star constellation, obviously the message is very clear. It determines the position of your planet in the solar system. And what is the connection with the Draco? Hard to say, but it can be some message also about the origin of the builders.
Yeah, because I meet many people in India, and he said they call it Asi, and that is the knowledge. It's where everything comes from, and they are the creators. That's what they said. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what those stone balls mean, because I've seen them, but I can't get it. I mean, the dragons have that in their mouth. I always connect it to the pineal gland because it stands for our third eye, which we even have in the Egyptian culture. I always like to dig deep because I want to know what's behind it. What does it mean? You know,
All right.
why do we have those things?
Yeah, there is a new science called biogeometry, which investigates effects of the shapes to the energy. 3 most powerful shapes are the pyramid shape, the conical shape, and spherical shape. That's why people were building pyramids, the tumuli or tumulus phenomena, and stone balls or stone spheres. When you place those shapes, those objects, above existing natural energy sources, they amplify the energy. So when you take many stone balls, you place them, let's say, above underground water flow or iron or some of those natural energy sources, they amplify those energies. Everything in our life is about the energy. We need the energy to get born, to live.
Because it's round, so it can't go anywhere. It creates a circle.
Yes, but when you have many of them, they amplify these underground energies. And since they amplify natural source, the energy you are getting is very beneficial to you. But
so it would be can I say it would be something like kind of a chakra which is round, which is like creates like a portal kind of a thing, like an energy.
Well, that would be a possibility also. When it comes to portals, you know, in order to move through space and time, you need 2 things. You need your ability, spiritual ability, your techniques, and the second one is energy field strong enough. And who was producing those energy fields? Well, those 3 shapes. Geometry of pyramid. Originally, our planet 12, 15, 50,000 years back was much stronger. When you amplify strong energy, it's even stronger energy. It creates very strong energy field. You can move through this field. The tumulus also, many stone balls also. It has always been about the energy. But their concept of energy was different than ours. They were
Oh,
using...
I'm getting it. I'm getting, do you know, like when you go to a psychiatrist in the movies in America, they have it. They have this tiny little thing and there are tiny balls hanging on an amplitude, right? And you kick one ball and it keeps moving, right?
Yes.
So actually what it does is the energy of the pyramid and then the ball, it means it kind of bounces back and creates a force, a strong dynamic, so it creates like a hurricane kind of thing, but like controlled hurricane, which amplifies the energy, creating a vortex, a stronger energy, like an impact. Wow, okay, that is cool. Now I'm having a picture. I was like, I couldn't grab it. I was like, what? That is so cool. Awesome.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So you see how many things we can learn from the ancients? And
Yes.
look what we do today. We make up frequencies and voltage. Here, you know, gigahertz. Our lights, 220 volt, 50 hertz. You touch the wire, it kills you. Our frequencies, our voltages are dangerous for our health. They cost a lot of money. They make a very small number of people very rich. And unlike them, the ancients were using the shapes, geometry, elements of sacred geometry, quartz crystals, very, specific positions. And they were getting the machines that would make clean energy. They would be making those facilities and they could last forever, pyramids.
Yeah, because I noticed when you look at the pyramids, they're so nicely done, so beautiful, integrated into nature. And when we look at our PowerPoints, they are screwed up. They look ugly.
Exactly.
They create sickness. They don't create healthiness. I mean, you
Yes.
go to a pyramid, ancient site, you feel like amazing. You feel recharged.
Yes.
But if you go close to a PowerPoint, you get sick. You feel sick. You feel someone is taking the light out of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And plus, this energy was free. So you see the different concepts, the ancients, clean, unlimited, free, and us, dirty, limited, costly.
Da-da-da, guys, 2020, this year changes. Good, 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 good. Sam, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I learned so much today. And it's like the people you're talking to, they're all starseeds and they just know what's going on. They want more details. And I'm so glad I got all the details. That was like so important. It's like, the people, the children, they all get visions and they know things. And it's like, we just need to bring the dots together. We don't have to teach them. They will teach us. And that is so amazing. That's what's happening now. The children, they're coming. I call them golden dragon rainbow children because they are the ones who are going to teach us. They will bring back the knowledge. And people like you, you're entrepreneurs, you're like way born ahead of time. I always say my dad was like born 100 years ahead of time. People didn't even know. They thought he's cuckoo, but he had the lifestyle we're having now. And I mean, thank you so much. Sam, do you know from which star, like what kind of star seed you are? Do you know where you're from? Do you know
Well, it
that?
seems that I have something to do with the Pleiades.
Yeah, I thought so, because your energy is so pure and crystalline. It's beautiful. May I ask why you're wearing that hat like Indiana Jones? I'm sure people want to know.
Yeah, I've been wearing it for 3 decades now. Not the same hat, of course, but the similar style. Whenever I go to the places like the deserts, it's good for the dust, it's good for the sun. When you go to the forests, it's good. Sometimes I simply move my head first. And
no spider webs in your face.
Exactly. Spider web is very important. It's everywhere. And then, of course, when it rains, it's good to have it. So with the time, it has become the part of my image. Yes.
I love you. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Sam.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, Agatha. Well,
Guys, if you want any information, please go to his YouTube channel. He's coming up with some amazing stuff, and he's even working with very young people. I saw the second video, and have a lot of knowledge. Like he's working with geologists, geologists.
yeah, geologists, archaeologists,
Yeah.
engineers. Yes, yes, good
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, and maybe we could, after some time, when you're free, we could do another video talking about the channelers and the people who know about the psychic stuff. That would be
Yes,
great.
I'll be happy to. Yeah, I wrote the book, so I think it'll be interesting to talk about it next time.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, wonderful. I really love talking to you, Agatha.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks a lot.
You have to stop the, I don't know.